Hi, all you delicious people. I'm here today to review Survivor Series War Games San Diego. This has got to be just quality control, like a huge, massive problem with this PLE. Man, I hope you guys can watch half of this PLE with its quality. I had watched this thing the day afterwards, and I'm like, man, this quality is the worst. What the happened, Netflix? Wow, how great is this that I'm watching this in uncrisp HD? But anyways, let's also talk a little bit about the lead up to the last couple days. Right before Thanksgiving happened, I had been working out, and while I was working out, I'd gotten very sick. And then eventually Thanksgiving happened, and then Black Friday happened. I'd gone on. Oh, Thanksgiving also had the Macy's Day Parade, which I haven't seen in years. Man, is it just wall to wall? Just how can we do everything strategically to advertise every single thing? Like even the floats and every balloon thing had to be advertising freaking something. It wasn't just like they were just chalking this thing up uh, just to just have some fun or some goofiness or whatever. No, everything was like some anniversary of something or some Broadway show that they probably had to sell or some crap like that. None of it was just some random thing that they just plopped in there. Everything just has to be some multicultural advertising thing that just disgusted me. And I'm like, God, this freaking like if I wanted to watch a freaking multi-hour commercial, I could go on and probably watch a movie trailer or a number of movie trailers instead of watching this or something of that equivalent. I could watch some comedy ads. At least they'll be funny. Anyways, so uh, I had gone on Black Friday because I luckily scraped some money together, and I was kind of looking at finally being able to kind of piecemeal some exercise equipment. I didn't get everything I wanted. I got a majority of everything I wanted. So I was luckily able to get some pieces that more than likely, if I do any fitness shorts in the future, which I'm not quite sure how exactly I'm going to progress very well right now, but I'm going to try my best to try to keep progressing. And so you're probably not going to be able to hugely see the difference, but if anything, you're probably going to go on and probably see uh, some little differences here and there. I've tried to go on and try to get like a trap bar. I don't think that was going to happen. I mostly just kind of focused on getting a substantial number of weights and substantial just kind of mats and stuff like that. So that way, uh, for flooring reasons. But yeah, so that's gonna happen. I'm gonna get those coming. Uh, there are probably certain other things that I probably should have gotten, but I didn't because I only had a certain price range to feasibly want to just to to do up there. I had also kind of hooked and crooked my way to just get a couple of shirts, like a whole probably two, maybe, yeah, just two, and those are gonna be turning around and just being used for thumbnail things. So I'm grateful that I can finally get those because it takes freaking forever to grind away on Timu just to get two to three things. And so yeah, so I'm happy that I'm gonna be able to actually accomplish those things, and I'll have to wait for those to get shipped out to me because all of them were very specific items that weren't available in stores. So everything will have to be shipped to me, and eventually I'll get those, and hopefully they'll all be ordered correctly, and I'll be able to have to not need to return them all. we'll hope for the best with that. But yeah, so like my days were freaking just crazy busy with just me just trying to find the best possible things to be able to hopefully make some kind of future impact on whatever the heck I'm still doing for YouTube or whatever I'm doing in my life. Anyways, let's talk about Survivor Series. So, in all honesty, out of the 4 matches, we're now into 4 match territory now, not 5, heaven forbid. Because I guess normally in a normal PLE we'd have 5, but now we have 4. Because war game matches take so long to do, right? Anyways, so, but if anything, they're not even the most interesting matches. The longest matches are even not to be the most interesting ones at this point anymore. That's hilarious. So, in all honesty, out of these 4 matches, the most interesting match was the John Cena Dominic Mysterio match. Wow, what a shocker that is. But yeah, it was the most interesting match. Uh, we are to go on and find that from the last PLE to now this one, a number of things have changed. Cena had won the IC title off of Mysterio, so that way he can become Grand Slam champion before he, of course, retires. And so we would go on to have this match that was actually really interesting. A lot of tricks were to be had. People were returning to this match. The onslaught of like Judgment Day came into this match to kind of throw the boots to John Cena. They try to get as biggest number of people as they possibly can to go against Cena here. Uh, the most interesting match I feel out of the card. To also realize that this is John Cena's last PLE was to give us this bit of send off here. Because more than likely, I probably won't be able to go on and see Cena in a number of other things. I couldn't probably be bothered. Uh, but anyways, I'll probably see his very last match. I'm sure just to see if that's gonna be any good. Because I know it's probably gonna going up against Gunther, right? Because what is the point of that tournament? We all know it's gonna be Gunther. It's gonna be Jey Uso against Gunther. Gunther is gonna go on and beat Jey Uso, and round we go to have Gunther beat Cena, right? Because he did the same to Goldberg. Anyways, I'm calling it, I'm predicting it already. So Becky no longer has her IC title because, yeah, Maxine Dupree is to be the current Intercontinental Champion now. And I ask why. Is Maxine Dupree really that good of a wrestler? But then again, we have a number of people who have titles, and I don't know why they have them. Uh, but anyways, maybe that's to talk about a certain Nikki Bella Stephanie Valkyr match. So the Nikki Bella match, because really it was Nikki Bella match. It was she was carrying the whole thing, and man, also does Nikki look amazing. I know we've gone on to see her before, and yada yada. Like I'm sure a lot of people were going on like, well, yeah, like of course she's gonna look really great now. But anyways, there was a lot of people whistling for her and saying how great she looked, and really there was also a number of people afterwards that were saying like, man, look at Nikki Bella. Yeah, because no one really gave a shit about Stephanie whatsoever. It's true. So uh, let's go on and let's talk about the women War Games match. So the women's War Games match, we have Lash Legend seemingly being a main roster wrestler now. She's on SmackDown, I guess. I don't watch SmackDown that often, or much of Raw. Uh, not much. It has to be certain segments on Raw, mostly Punk. Anyways, so Lash Legend had gone on to be probably in a number of Royal Rumbles and stuff like that, right? So it's not like she's never worked with these people ever before. But it was interesting to see Lash going out to her entrance and there was like silence, crickets, no reaction whatsoever. No one cared. And then turn around and like I don't want to say that Lash was botching anything. I just think that like Lash hasn't really worked with these people and so it's kind of like they've never touched before. So like if anybody's to probably go on and say that Lash had like botched a lot of this match, that's not true. Lash just really has not worked with any of these people before, so there's some learning curve here. Uh, like you can see, it's like, oh, well, yeah, like, but she's been in NXT for X number of blah blah blah. That does not matter, because if anything, again, we go on. We always have to realize that the main roster and NXT are two different things. And yeah, like if you've never wrestled with any number of these people consistently, yeah, like there's going to be a learning curve. So going into this females War Games match, we start off with Charlotte and Asuka. What a horrible decision that was. But regardless, eventually people came in, other people that I honestly did not like whatsoever that they changed the whole cage thing. I actually like that a lot better because, in all honesty, like here to go on at some points when seeing the other PLEs and just kind of cut to the cage every once in a while, like see the guys like reacting to what's going on in the ring. I thought that that was more entertaining than having to just kind of wait for a entrance to happen, and it's basically like the Royal Rumble with a cage. That's basically what this becomes. It's interesting also how the women had a very specific rule just for the men to change it later on, and I'm like, don't you guys plan this ahead of time? Don't you really plan this? And like, man, like that just makes you guys look so freaking stupid. And you have to go on and you have to mitigate it and just be like, oh, well, he found a loophole. Bullshit. Like, Brock Lesnar doesn't give a single F about anything. So, yeah, like, you guys have to just go on and just suspend disbelief. And so, the way that the main event ended was like not only stupid because of that whole uh them needing to find some stupid loophole thing, which is like no. Like if anything, like we can chalk it up as like no, hey, yeah, you guys are just whatever you want for the rules, and we could have had it to where we could have had the other team win because of another person's stupidity, but whatever. Uh but anyways, we also go on and we have this mystery person that arrives within uh within the main event. Kind of like the Cena and Dominic match technically. Uh and there was never revealed who that person was. But I'm assuming that there probably was, but not actually on Netflix. So not only am I going on and watching Netflix and like it's so freaking blurry that I can't tell what's going on half the time. But not only that, they cut away before showing something that I effing missed, and there's no coverage of it anywhere, or maybe I saw it somewhere on a YouTube thing somewhere or something where it showed that I missed something from this PLE. God dang it! Like, wow, what a crappy thing to do. Because there obviously was some entrance music being played. There was a reveal of somebody, and yeah, like, what was the point of having the mystery guy if you weren't going to go on and reveal him? That's stupid. Honestly, I liked the women's war games a lot more because they were actually bringing weapons to the ring, unlike the stupid men that they would go on and they would need to open up the apron and grab weapons after the fact once they were heading to the ring. I'm like, that was the stupidest thing. It just makes it look dumb. Um, because we have like Logan Paul coming to the ring, like shucking into the ring, and Drew tells him, "Hey, yeah, grab some chairs," and Logan's like, "Oh yeah, right, I'll go on, I'll do that right away." Drew McIntyre, and then they go into the match, and then they bring in the brass knucks. I'm like, okay, this is fun, because we're kind of throwing everything out there. Uh, I think Jimmy goes on and he brings a table. I'm like, okay, when are they going to use the table? And of course, they end up having to use it at a very specific spot, which takes far too long to execute that. And I'm like, so you just have this table that is just forever just leaning there and no one uses it. That was the stupidest thing that I've seen, and I don't know how long. You just have this table that's just laying there, and no one's going to use it up until a very, very long stretch of ending. And it's like, oh, that's what they use the table for. Because if they set a table up, they're never not going to use it. And there's sometimes when they set up the table and they use it right away. And then there's other times where it takes them like 2 hours later and then they finally use the table. Like, oh, that's what the table is there for. And that's what that spot was. Punk ended up starting this match, and I liked his Halloween looking gear, even though it kind of felt very random to me. I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. This is cool. Um, the jacket with Larry's dad on it was fun. Uh, him starting this match against Braun was like, man, this is a great way to start this War Games match off because I want to see these two guys go at it. Like how the other women's match was Asuka and Charlotte. I'm like, this is gonna be effing boring. And and eventually the way that the women fought was just like, this is the most boring cage match I have ever goddamn seen. And then we have to go to the same old well of certain things that we've probably seen in other War Games matches. Like, there's nothing new here when it came down to the women's War Games match, except for Lash Legend being put into it and AJ Lee, which again, there was nothing here that felt throughout this entire thing that I needed to see this PLE. Besides, it's John Cena's last PLE. That's about it. That's the only thing you could clickbait me into this entire thing because nothing was good enough to garner real true interest. Sadly enough, uh, this PLE was very, very mid, very vanilla. Uh, there were obviously like Brock Lesnar in a cage. Like, how can you not find that exciting? Uh, and yeah, that part was really interesting to just see Brock just fling people around and suplex everybody like crazy. Uh, there were some spots where Jimmy and Jay were super kicking everybody, and it was fun. Yeah, so really, other than that, yeah, that's in a nutshell what was to go on and transpire within the entire PLE for most of the point. For the Cena Dominic match, Dominic was to be followed by Roxanne Perez and Rodriguez. I had to think of who her name was because I'm like, Rodriguez? Is that who it is? It's also interesting to figure out who the F the women's tag match titles are to be held by. Is it the Kabuki Warriors? Is those the people with the tag match? I have no idea who's hot potatoing it, who has it now. Maxine Dupree, I guess, has the IC title. Whoop-de-doo for her. She's going to be just a person I don't give a about. And so, as well as we have so many freaking titles that are never going to get defended upon these PLEs now. And we also still have so many stars that they just added in the roster that we're never going to see still. We still haven't seen yet one freaking Aleister Black match, and I don't know how many PLEs now. Man, what was the point of giving him Selena Vega if we're not even going to see him in a PLE? What is the point of that? Could, for the love of God, him just be in some one of these matches at some point soon? Or why is he even here? Why not just get rid of him at this point if he's not good enough to be on some PLE? I don't want to see him get fired. I don't want to see anybody get fired. But god dang it, if you're not going to use this person, if you're not going to use Rusev's and Sheamus's and whoever, Damian Priest, just lump them all together in a 20-man slammer royal butt crack, whatever it is, so that we at least we can see some different people in a freaking PLE for god dang once. If you're going on and doing crap like this, we're just slamming people onto a card anyways. How about you put people on there that haven't been in every freaking goddamn PLE for the last year and give us some kind of more rotation of roster going on for once, instead of it needing to be that Seth Rollins, even when he's injured, he still has to figure out some way to just be in the shadows or lurking somewhere. Anyways, so with that said, let's go on and let's bring up the any really left of details from some of these matches. Maybe kind of the more the order of the way the War Games matches that went into, and a little bit more of the details. So the women's War Games match goes on again, has Charlotte and Asuka open. Then Becky comes in. Then we go on to have Io come in, and Io goes on with this trash lid because we have to go on and we have to have her whole thing be about like, oh yeah, she's the trash lid girl that she has to keep going on and figuring out how she can use these trash lid things because that's her gimmick, that's her thing now. And it honestly seemed that a lot of this thing was also to just try to like do something to just make action figures somewhere down the lines later. That's kind of their whole goal, I felt. So they were doing that, I guess, for this thing. We have Rhea Ripley that comes in, and this may be spoilers, so I'm gonna talk about it here. So if you feel spoiled, it's only gonna take a couple seconds here. She comes down in the Art the Clown Terrifier makeup. They go on and they reference how Michael Cole mentions about how in love Rhea Ripley is with Terrifier. She had gone on to get killed off via something of Terrifier Art the Clown, which I'm not quite sure what it is. There is some footage of it somewhere. I have no idea what that really means. Also, Rhea Ripley did the whole Chris Van Vliet interview, so check that out as well. really for these war games, it goes on to, if we want to really see a start, you're gonna have to wait for it. Like Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, they come last in the men's match, whereas of course Rhea Ripley, AJ Lee, they come much later, which would probably be having a number of people being so enticed to see those people rather than anyone else. I was actually surprised how early Alexa Bliss kind of came out as well, because she was going and coming out fairly early. After we have like Kairi Sanes, and then Alexa Bliss comes in, then we go on and we get Nia Jackson, and right after Nia Jax comes in, then of course we get Rhea Ripley, then we get AJ Lee, and I think then Lash Legend was either, I think she was last. Yeah, I think she was last. A person sadly with no reaction and no one really cared, but anyways, like she came last anyways. For the men's, CM Punk and Braun came in. Best way to open this. And then we were to go on and find out that it was going to get the roster of just bad guys coming in. So we had CM Punk, Braun Breaker, and then Drew came in. And that was kind of renew the whole rivalry between Punk and Drew. They, of course, had fought in cage matches before. CM Punk is going and say, it's like, man, I've done so many cage matches at this point. Uh, so we go on have I think Cody comes in after that, and like that starts to kind of add things in here. Uh, we consistently get to these points where the bad guys are going on and they're holding up the cages, so the baby faces have to go on and figure out a way to get into the ring without getting into the door. Like we have AJ Lee, who she had to kind of hop over the fence, and Cody ends up doing the same thing. Punk ends up climbing the fence in his entrance just to kind of be weird and different, and also to try to do something with the cage because might as well. After Cody came in, Jimmy came in, Jake came in, and of course Roman was last. Uh, for the heels, not quite sure exactly the order of that. I think that after Drew came in, I think it may have been, I want to say it was like Logan, Reed, and then Brock, I think was the last one. I think, from memory. And when Reed came in, he was like tsunamiing everybody. It was awesome. Uh, but yeah, but it was just like, okay, all right. Like, of course, like we have to have these moments of just like when Brock comes in, he suplexes everybody. When Reed comes in, he has to tsunami everybody. And every once in a while, we would go on to see Breaker just kind of do something where he goes on, spears somebody, or he whatever. So the men's war game, I think, ended in a just horribly, just kind of lazy fashion. And the women's match is like, well, obviously you're going to go that route, right? For the Nikki and Steffi match, no shocker there. And the Cena and Dominic match, it was nice how they got there, but we kind of knew where it was going. So, like, most of this PLE, like, none of the outcomes were already something that we weren't going to expect anyways. So like there is no rush to make our way to this Survivor Series. Like really, it was just a very vanilla and very mid uh, PLE in my opinion. Even though I'm sure people could probably get something out of this, people could be entertained by it, or eventually this PLE could probably be a weirdly trending thing for YouTube, regardless of when I actually got to it. So now it's about time to just reveal who the winners were. So let's get into that. So the opening match was to go on and be spoilers, everybody. The winners, of course, were to go on and after everyone enters the match and what have you, which I think is a stupid rule. I like the more elimination chamber thing instead of the stupid war games thing where everybody has to enter and then you can pin somebody or submit them. By the end of the match, we have AJ Lee who goes on and she does her weird octopus submission, her octopus stretch submission, which is the Widow's Peak or whatever it's to be called, and she does her submission and she does it on Becky, continuing their rivalry. And I would still go on and probably think the most entertaining thing would honestly to have not have really been AJ Lee within this entire PLE. If anything, honestly, I think the most entertaining thing was maybe probably Rhea out of this whole entire thing, as far as the women was to go. But even that's not really saying much. It's not really saying much because this whole entire was so boring. Um, it was so often to where like there's in the women's match it was a lot of like 50-50 booking. We would go on to have the heels get their comeuppance, and then we'd have the baby faces get their comeuppance. Back and forth we go. 50-50, 50-50, 50-50 through the whole entire thing. And then eventually we would make our way to the winners. Whereas in the men's war games, it felt very different. The whole entire time, you knew where this match was going for how it started. And that was sad. But I'll get to the men's because I'll wait for that because of course it's the main event. So, but the baby faces did win. So that was nice. Io got to go on and do her trash thing because she always has to do that. I thought it was stupid how uh, Becky was to kind of just kind of thrust out of the way and be like, "Oh, I'm just reacting now because there's nothing I can do because I didn't get hit." And then they all look at her and like, "Yeah, we're gonna go on and we're gonna submit her now because she didn't go on to fall over like everyone else did." In the men's, there was a point where everybody was trying to use their finishers on Brock, but what good did that do? So, but let's get into the Stephanie Vakir Nikki Bella match because I'm sure everybody should just be forced to wait for the John Cena Dominic match because of how intriguing that actually is. So, but this one is rather short to go on it and talk about it. So, the winner. Nikki Bella goes on and carries the entire match. She's the best thing of this because Stephanie still has absolutely no moveset. And we go on eventually outside, and Stephanie goes on and she does her weird move where she takes someone's head in between her legs and thrusts it down multiple times. And she does that on a commentator table. And that's what drastically changes the match. to the point where Stephanie goes on and does the exact same move in the ring because again, Stephanie doesn't have much as far as moveset is concerned. So, or even if we are to see her do any moves, her moves are so common that. But again, in all honesty, like, again, in all honesty, yeah, like, I guess for wrestling, I guess nowadays, all I guess you would just need to do is just look, you just need to look very attractive and you win people over. It's kind of like YouTube. For YouTube, you can go on and you can actually be very an expert in a certain field, or you can go on and just look pretty and that'll go on and that'll be the difference maker. So it's a crappy thing for to go on and and state that, but it's honestly like it's kind of stating the obvious also. Uh, where am I am in that spectrum? Neither. So I'm not exactly an expert, but I'm also not a good looking person either. So that's probably where I am in the spectrum of things. So, anyways, or maybe I'm barely in the middle. Who knows? Uh, so eventually, Stephanie goes on and she does her she does her moves more consistently, and that has her turn around and win the match. Which I'm like, great. I didn't really think that Nikki was gonna win, but also like what it would have done for Nikki would have really honestly done nothing for her anyways, and it's still also doing nothing for Stephanie. So like we had this match just to waste our time. If anything, I wish that this would have been a triple threat match and we would have had Bayley in here because that would have made a heck of a lot more sense. But Bayley is now in a a tag match with Lyra for some freaking reason, which makes no sense to me. Because I'm like, Bayley needs to be in title contention. She doesn't need to be shoved in some tag team somewhere where it just to go on and make no freaking sense for her to be there. But whatever. Let's go on and let's talk about the Cena Dominic match. So this match was so good out of everything. Even though even this was like I was contemplating, like, is this really that good? I don't know. Like out of all the other John Cena matches, it's clearly not the best or the better of ones. It's probably very way way lesser than a lot of these other. Like definitely not as good as the Styles Cena match, the Cody Cena match, probably a number of other matches that we've had before this one. Um, but I understand why doing the Dominic and Cena match because, in all honesty, Dominic is becoming one of the top stars right now, and regardless of people who want to admit it or not, like Dominic is very, very good at what he's doing right now. So he deserves it. He deserves to go on and be Cena's last PLE thing, and he can have that feather in his cap and whatever. So we go on to by the end of this, after we've had Cena kind of shoulder block the referee and knock him out of the ring. We also go on to have a point where in the match also Dominic I think was going to go on and try this like Hurricane Rana, and it ended up being that Cena countered it into like a almost like power bomb, but the power bomb was like very weird, and like Dominic kind of hit more of his like like it almost looked like he landed on his head almost. That's how like just ugly that looked. and they're going on and checking on Dom, and he said that he messed up his shoulder, and so they're checking. So while that's going on, Cena's getting attacked by Raquel and Rodriguez, and they're just beating him up, tag teaming and whatever, and beating the crap out of Cena. And then also JD and Finn Balor come in, and Cena just goes on and like double AAs them both, and I'm not quite sure if the JD and Finn stuff was planned very well, because it seems like they had to like talk to one another what the heck they're even freaking doing. But hey, it's whatever. So by the end of all this, we're going on, and we're going to see the return here. Spoilers, everybody. Liv Morgan returns. Liv Morgan returns, and shortly thereafter that they end up using her in a PLE advertisement. It's like, oh, okay, so that's why they have her return. So Liv Morgan comes in, and we're like, okay, what side is she on? Is she the third man? What's going on here? So Liv comes in, and she takes out Dominic. I'm like, oh my god, is she going to be babyface now? What a turn this is going to be of events. And then Liv Morgan goes on and she grabs and she hugs on John Cena. It seems that a fan had gone on to take a thing where John Cena is going on and hugging Liv, and he does this like thumbs up thing. It's like, all right, while WWE is not actually filming that part of it. If anything, somebody online did. And what they did cut to is Liv going on and hugging John Cena, and then she opens her eyes. And we get a rehash of Cena turning heel on Cody with Liv Morgan and uh and and Cena here. Liv pushes off of Cena and then kicks him in the nuts. Cena goes down. We have Dominic that goes on to, I think, do yet another 619, because there's multiple 619s that happen here. And then Liv turns and takes the title, hits him with the title. Finally, by then, Dominic goes on and is to pin Cena, and the ref comes back, hits the 1, 2, 3, and Dominic wins. Dominic is now carrying Liv through the entrance and going on and saying like, yeah, we're back, oh yeah, we're back. And I'm like, well, that's good and all, but is Liv, like, is she okay? Is she 100%? Like, I'm just very worried. Just because, like, yeah, like, hopefully she can come back too soon or whatever. Yeah, I hope for her the best. Because yeah, like, she was very entertaining. She did that whole revenge tour thing that was to go on and just be like, okay, whatever that was, because it really wasn't doing much for her character. Hopefully, she'll go on and get in the mix, and maybe they'll win back those women's tag team titles, even though it really didn't do much for them. Uh, but yeah, that'll be a thing that'll exist. Maybe Liv will go on, and maybe she'll turn up again. She'll turn against Roxanne Perez. Who knows what happens? Maybe we will get that Liv babyface turn. Who knows? But anyways, it was nice to have Liv come back. So let's go on and let's talk about the men's War Games match. So there's a lot of good spots here, and the weapons eventually came in to turn anyways. And I feel that once we got further and further towards the end there, when we have Brock and we have Roman coming in, because Roman is like the last one, because of course he is. Because for those of you that probably don't know, these people are actually going on and they're getting paid by salary now, and they're not getting paid by matches. If anything, it doesn't really matter that if you're champion right now because you get paid the same. So, if anything, if you guys always want to go on and you want to question the quality of PLEs and what have you, there's a reason for that. Because in all honesty, PLEs the way they are is because all the wrestlers are on salary. So I'm like, okay, so none of the wrestlers have to give a single F because they're going to get paid the same no matter what they do. So for how you're going on and getting a lot of lackluster PLEs, it's because they're all on salary. They all get paid the same no matter what they do, so they don't have to care about what they do because they're still going to get paid anyways. So that's what CM Punk is going on to tell us in an interview that he gets paid salary now. So it doesn't really matter if he opens the match or remains evended. It doesn't matter if he has a title right now or if he doesn't have a title right now because he'll get paid the freaking same anyways. I've gone on and worked alongside a number of people that are go on and be paid salary, and yeah, it's stupid. There's sometimes where they'll go on and they'll have like a 8 hour day or they'll have like a 16-hour day and they'll get paid the same. Because again, it doesn't really matter. So by the end of this match, Roman comes out with his entrance, and Brock is waiting for him at the cage doors. And immediately in the women's match, they go on and they state that no one can exit the cage because it will go on and have whoever their team is, or so they had it to where there was a rule. Specifically in the women's match, it doesn't freaking matter, I guess, in the men's because it's a main event, right? If a person from a team goes on and tries to escape the cage, then that person's team will go on and lose the match if they do so. Where in the men's match, we go on, we have Brock Lesnar, and he leaves the cage. He goes on and starts stepping down the steps, and he goes on to meet Roman at the ramp, and the two of them start going at it. And then Michael Cole and Wade Barrett just have to go on like, well, hey, guys, we have to go on and we have to amend the rules because we have to go on and realize that Brock was just trying to go on and stop Roman from getting into the cage, so the match won't officially start. So Brock had found some loophole that technically the match hasn't started yet. So, uh, so yeah, like if anybody was to have escaped prior before the actual bell go, so these guys could have gone on and escaped at any goddamn time. All it had to do was just to have them wait for the like. You know what this is kind of like again, all over again. It's just like the TNA match where they have the reverse Royal Rumble thing, where they have to physically get into the match to then get thrown back out of it. Like it's that all over again. It's basically what War Games really and truly is. But even with that, you don't go on and you don't have people get eliminated. As well as also there's people coming crawling in and out of the ring, and like this time around we have the mystery person, obviously who's Seth Rollins. He does go on and do the curve stomp, and like it was never revealed on the PLE who it was, but there had gone on and been somebody that had taped more of the PLE, and in the background there's Seth Rollins' theme going on, and people go, oh. So obviously Seth Rollins had appeared at Survivor Series, but we didn't see it on Netflix because Netflix was an asshole. So we go on and eventually go through this thing, and the more entertaining thing is to just see Brock Lesnar just beating the crap out of people. And eventually going outside to take Roman and fling him onto the commentary table and take him out there. And then drag him back into the cage so they can finally start the match. So eventually how this play breaks down is in a very stupid fashion, I feel, because the heels the entire time were easily wiping out the baby faces. It was getting kind of ridiculous for most of the point. Like, it didn't really feel all that much even though the Usos were going on and super kicking everybody, and the baby faces were trying to go on and multi-finishing Brock Lesnar, which is absolutely, again, bum kiss nothing. By the end of the match, after everything was all said and done, we had Cody that at one point was to just kind of elbow Punk. Punk was like, "What the fuck?" And Cody's like, "Well, hey, man, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was you." So we also had Cody that turns to Roman by the end of this match, and Roman's like, "Well, yeah, my partnership with you and me, it's over because again, Roman, I'm sure wants to go on and get a little slice of that title pie again." And so Roman goes on and tells Cody, it's like, well, yeah, our friendship or our kind of partnership is over now. Because I guess Roman wants another shot at that title. How many freaking shots is he going to get at this point? So, how this was to all end was Braun is to go on and at one point just go round and round in the ropes and then spear Punk. And then Braun goes on and covers Punk. So I'm assuming that this is going to go on and lead to Punk going against Braun in a title match and probably Braun winning. Because honestly, Braun, I think, goes on and needs a title at this point. Finally, he needs to be champion. But then also, Braun beating Punk should have him become number one contender, obviously. Uh, to just have this kind of hovering over Punk, plus also, I feel that Punk in more recent Days of Time has lost more matches than won them, so yeah, we should probably go on and have Braun win this match, even though I'm sure there's a lot of people that will probably go on and say that Punk should keep the title a little bit longer. I'm also in that camp. I'd be fine with Punk continuing to have the title. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Either way, either Braun having it or Punk having it, or them going right back to the well of Punk versus Seth again for the 50th time now, would be completely fine. Whatever they're gonna freaking do, I could care less. Because at this point, like, it's gonna be interesting to see how they continue to write this story. Other than that, I think it's about that time to just wrap this bad boy up so I can have something to upload today, so I can have something to put out. So without a doubt, thank you for going on and deciding to watch this. Regardless of my feelings of it, maybe you'll go on and you'll say, no, Survivor Series was the best pay-per-view of recent time and whatever. Or maybe some people will be like, no, this pay-per-view completely sucked. And you know what? Like, I'm not to go on and say that those aren't all wrong answers. If anything, like, you have your opinion, and hopefully you're wanting to share it with me. And that's at the end of the day, that's okay, because like, there's no wrong answers to this shit. And people can go on and like things, or they can freaking hate it. And hopefully that is to not go on and be smirching me, a person that has my certain opinions about these things. Uh, I hope that there could be just one PLE that I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. Like every match, everything that was going on was like, wow, it blew me away. But it's just not going to be happening this day. Uh, Also, feasibly for me, like it is just kind of really interesting to just kind of watch a number of just wrestling bits of content lately, just to kind of listen to just kind of Jim Cornette or Stevie Richards or any number of other people just kind of talk about the product, like Simon Miller and things like that. Just kind of hearing all these people talk about the product lately is really entertaining. Just kind of get their thoughts about how they're not really either liking the product or they're just kind of like just something to just kind of for content purposes, which I think is kind of getting to that point now. I'm just like, well, yeah, I probably should go on and just uh, watch Survivor Series just for content now, instead of actually going on and being blown away about what I'm watching. But anyways, so yeah, so I hope to go on in the future to probably go and watch some probably superhero movies, because that might go on and actually be better for my channel instead of kind of doing honestly what I've been doing lately. So I'll probably go on and I'll probably do those. I probably will still come back to doing Power Rangers at some certain point, because I'm going to keep going and putting that on. Uh, Other than that, yeah, I am to try as best as I can to be coming back to this more consistently. I don't know about the fitness shorts. I don't know if those are going to be very consistent. I hope to kind of get back in the swing of fitness things here very shortly. I'm also kind of still waiting on those new pieces of equipment. So like I want to work out right now, but then also I'm just like I would rather wait to that new thing of equipment to come in to hope that my life becomes a lot easier instead of having to just continue to struggle with the pieces and the things that I've already continued to use. Uh, but yeah, but so with that, yeah, I got to do something. I can't just be stagnant. I just can't like wait another X number of days still to get this stuff to come. But anyways, I'm gonna get that out of here. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for going on watching this. Whenever you were to go on and decide to do so, even if it was like 20 seconds and then you flipped off, that's okay. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, I do appreciate people going on and checking out this content because feasibly, uh, I hope to find whatever is to be eventually putting my best foot forward. But then again, also, I need to do this a lot more consistently. A lot more consistently. Plus, also, I want to get back to the point where I can go on at least do like when I do these things, like that I do them more than one video a day. But like I tend to like for one video take up way too much time reviewing them, so like that always seems to be very impossible. I hope to eventually go on and get to a point where at least I can do one video just fairly consistent. If it's to be every other day, it's every other day. Or like there might be lighter workout days where I can go on and kind of squeeze one in for another video because I've kind of been doing those, and it kind of has been most of the time pretty nice to kind of get both those projects kind of done, uh, but also kind of really just get some wear and tear eventually when I consistently just feel that I need to just kind of almost try to keep doing them every day, and or kind of get to certain days where I'll accidentally realize how long a project took, and it'll bleed into a separate day that I didn't want it to, and like that kind of gets the rhythm of things just completely off. But anyways, I'm gonna get that out of here. Bye bye. Bye buddy.